Boogie2988, whose real name is Stephen J. Williams, was once one of the most beloved personalities on YouTube. During the early 2010s, his channel grew rapidly thanks to a mix of humor, vulnerability, and the wildly popular character Francis, an explosive parody of an angry gamer. At a time when gaming culture on YouTube was still evolving, Boogie's content felt authentic and relatable. Millions of viewers connected with his honesty about mental health, poverty, and personal struggles. For many fans, he wasn't just entertaining, he felt like a genuine and compassionate person behind the camera. Boogie's rise came during YouTube's golden era for creators. Videos of Francis screaming about video games, broken controllers, and everyday frustrations went viral, becoming some of the platform's most widely shared gaming comedy clips. At the height of his popularity, Boogie was seen as one of YouTube's good guys, a creator whose story of hardship and perseverance made his success feel inspiring. However, over time, that reputation began to crack. During a podcast appearance, Boogie stated that some good had come from the Holocaust, referencing medical advancements that were derived from the horrific human experimentation conducted by Nazi Germany. The statement immediately drew criticism and controversy online. After his divorce, Boogie reportedly began using a dating site called Seeking.com, a website often associated with sugar dating, where wealthy users meet younger partners and spend money on them. Through this platform, he eventually met Lucy Fox, who at the time worked in online adult entertainment. Their relationship lasted only a short period, but it quickly became controversial once details about it surfaced online. After the relationship ended, Lucy released a video describing her experience and claiming that the relationship involved manipulation and emotional mistreatment. In her account, she described incidents of verbal abuse and said that Boogie often focused entirely on his own personal struggles while ignoring her needs. She also alleged that he discouraged her from pursuing work during the time they were together. This alone raised eyebrows among fans, especially since Boogie had previously presented himself as someone who valued sincere relationships and emotional connection rather than transactional ones. When the relationship became public, many viewers felt that it conflicted with the image he had built over the years as a humble and relatable creator. Around the same time, Boogie faced another major controversy involving cryptocurrency. In June 2024, he promoted a meme coin known as Fatty, a digital token that some commentators later accused of being part of a pump-and-dump style scheme. Reports suggested that the coin experienced a surge in trading activity before rapidly losing value, leading to accusations that investors had been misled. One of the most serious controversies began in November 2022, when Boogie publicly stated that he had been diagnosed with a rare blood cancer known as polycythemia vera. He spoke openly about the condition with his audience and described it as a slow-moving disease that could eventually cause serious health complications. At the time, he explained that it was extremely slow-moving and something people could live with for decades. In July 2024, during an episode of the Lolcows Live podcast, streamer Destiny publicly accused Boogie of exaggerating or fabricating the cancer diagnosis during a livestream discussion. During the broadcast, several creators even offered money if Boogie could privately provide medical documents confirming the diagnosis, but he declined the offer. Later, during another podcast appearance, Boogie admitted that he did not actually have polycythemia vera. Instead, he explained that his doctor had diagnosed him with polycythemia, a condition involving a higher than normal number of blood cells, which can potentially lead to polycythemia vera in the future. In the end, Boogie's transformation from a beloved creator to a controversial figure is a reminder of how quickly internet fame can fade, leaving behind a legacy many people have already forgotten. Idubbbz, whose real name is Ian Carter, was one of the most dominant figures in YouTube during the mid-2000s. At his peak, he built a reputation for ruthless commentary, edgy humor, and a willingness to confront other influencers head-on. His videos regularly pulled millions of views with every upload. He first rose to prominence through his infamous series Content Cop, a format where he dissected the behavior of other creators he believed were dishonest, hypocritical, or abusive. These videos were aggressive and often targeted major creators. During this period, many fans viewed him as a kind of internet watchdog who exposed scams and called out creators that were misleading their audiences. The Content Cop series helped define an era of YouTube commentary that was raw, chaotic, and often intentionally controversial. His channel had millions of subscribers and hundreds of millions of views. For a time, he seemed nearly untouchable in the commentary community. However, the internet rarely stays the same for long. As YouTube culture evolved, the edgy style of commentary that defined his content began receiving heavier criticism. Many viewers started re-evaluating the offensive humor that once made him popular. Clips from older videos resurfaced online, and critics argued that parts of his content crossed the line or relied too heavily on shock value. Over time, Idubbbz himself appeared to change his perspective. As part of this shift, he attempted to reinvent himself. He helped organize the influencer boxing event Creator Clash, which aimed to raise money for charity while bringing internet personalities together for a different kind of entertainment. The event was praised by some viewers for its positive intentions, but it also faced financial challenges and criticism from parts of the online community. One of the biggest turning points in his public image involved his wife, Anissa Jomha. In March 2020, while she was still his girlfriend, Anissa opened an account on OnlyFans. Ian's minimal response and silence about the situation led to heavy criticism from some fans. Many people began calling him a simp or even a content cuck, referencing the name of his famous series. Anissa had already been disliked by parts of his fan base due to earlier controversies, which intensified the backlash. Some critics also accused Ian of hypocrisy. In the past, he had mocked booby streamers and female content creators who used their bodies for views on platforms like YouTube and Twitch, yet many felt he was not applying the same criticism to his girlfriend's work. On April 16, 2025, Idubbbz released a new Content Cop episode focusing on Ethan Klein, also known as H3H3. The video criticized Klein's political views, particularly his stance on the Israel-Palestine conflict, and accused him of harassing other creators, including Hassan Piker. The move received mixed reactions, with many viewers arguing that it felt like a step backward after Idubbbz had previously tried to distance himself from his more controversial commentary style. Ethan Klein responded to the video, claiming that he had left out important context. According to Klein, Child Protective Services had previously been called to his house, and he believed the situation had been fueled by rumors spread by people within Idubbbz's social circle. Klein accused Ian of interacting with individuals who helped spread those rumors. Another controversy emerged on September 4, 2025, when a commentator channel claimed to have uncovered information suggesting that both Ian and Anissa were still friendly with the controversial artist known as Shadman, an artist whose work has been widely criticized online. In the end, he went from being one of YouTube's most dominant creators to a shadow of his former self. As time passed, the influence he once held slowly faded, leaving behind a career that many fans believe it's never fully recovered. Wings of Redemption, whose real name is Jordy Jordan, is often cited as one of the most infamous examples of a YouTube creator who went from early success to a long, very public downfall. In the early days of YouTube gaming, Wings of Redemption was one of the platform's most recognizable gaming content creators. He rose to popularity during the era when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops dominated the gaming scene. Unlike many polished creators today, Jordy's style felt raw and unfiltered. He recorded gameplay while speaking directly to viewers about strategy, life problems, and whatever else was on his mind. This authenticity helped him build a loyal audience, and for a time, he was considered one of the biggest names in the Call of Duty commentary community. A major milestone in his career came when he became a founding member of a popular podcast called Painkiller Already. The show quickly grew into one of the most popular gaming podcasts on YouTube at the time. During this period, Jordy was at the center of the online gaming community. His channel was thriving, the podcast was successful, and his influence in the Call of Duty scene was undeniable. However, the same unfiltered personality that helped him grow an audience would eventually contribute to his downfall. In 2011, during a PKA episode, Jordan mocked Pro Syndicate's Zombies skills, claiming they didn't translate well to PvP gameplay. Woody arranged a high-stakes 1v1 deathmatch between the two. Syndicate dominated the match, which sparked an angry reaction from Jordan during the stream. After losing, Jordan reportedly attempted to bribe Syndicate through chat to throw a rematch. Screenshots of this interaction were shared publicly, which quickly spread online and led to many people mocking him. Another incident that caused many people to turn against him happened in 2014, when Jordy called off a trip that he had planned with the other members of Painkiller already. The group had organized a camping trip together, and everything had already been arranged. On the day of the trip, one of the hosts, Kyle Myers, reportedly drove around 3 hours to reach the meeting spot in the woods. After arriving, Kyle called Jordy to check if he was on his way. However, Jordy backed out at the last minute and admitted that he wasn't actually going to show up after all. The sudden cancellation frustrated the rest of the group, especially since people had already traveled and made plans around the trip. This moment became the breaking point for the team. After years of tension and smaller conflicts, the other hosts decided they had had enough. Not long after the trip, Jordy was removed from the podcast and effectively kicked off Painkiller podcast permanently, marking a major turning point in his career. Everything eventually reached a boiling point in 2017 when he had a mental breakdown during a live stream. During a session of Call of Duty World War II, a troll began stream sniping him by joining his game, berating him on the microphone, shooting at him, and repeatedly throwing smoke grenades that made it difficult for him to play properly. Jordy became extremely frustrated during the match. At one point, he threw his controller across the room, pressed his face against the wall, and then he broke down and started crying on stream. The situation itself might seem minor compared to the countless controversies that have occurred on YouTube since then. However, at the time it played a major role in shaping his public image. It marked the beginning of a period where he became more known for his controversies rather than for his actual content, ultimately overshadowing much of what he had built throughout his career. Nikocado Avocado, whose real name is Nicholas Perry, was born on May 19, 1992, in Ukraine, before being adopted and raised in the United States. Before becoming famous online, Perry studied music and worked as a violinist, even pursuing a career in musical performance. However, his path eventually shifted towards social media. In the mid-2000s, he began uploading videos to YouTube that were originally focused on vegan lifestyle content. At the time, his channel was relatively small, but steadily growing as he shared personal stories, food advice, and lifestyle discussions. Everything changed in 2016 when Perry abandoned his vegan content and began producing videos focused on eating large amounts of food on camera. The format quickly exploded in popularity across the internet, and Nikocado soon became one of its most recognizable creators. Unlike many other creators, Nikocado's videos quickly became theatrical and chaotic. His content often included massive portions of fast food, exaggerated emotional reactions, and dramatic arguments with other creators or with his husband. These elements turned his channel into a spectacle that attracted millions of views. As his popularity grew, many viewers became concerned about the extreme amount of food he consumed on camera and the rapid weight gain that followed. Over several years, Perry gained hundreds of pounds, and people began accusing him of harming his health for entertainment. Reports also suggested that he experienced health problems related to his weight, including breathing issues and injuries such as fractured ribs caused by heavy coughing. Despite all of this, he continued uploading content and leaning further into his over-the-top video style. As his channel grew, he also became involved in several public feuds with other YouTubers, and these conflicts often became major sources of attention for his videos. However, unlike some of the other creators mentioned in this video, he eventually experienced a form of redemption. In September 2024, he shocked the internet when he uploaded a video titled 2 Steps Ahead. In the video, he revealed that he had secretly lost more than 250 pounds over the previous 2 years. What surprised viewers even more was his claim that the entire situation had been planned in advance. According to Nikocado, while audiences believed they were watching his health decline through his videos, many of those uploads had actually been pre-recorded months or even years earlier. During that time, he said he had stepped away from the public eye to focus on losing weight and improving his health. In the end, his story shows how quickly things can change on the internet. After years of controversy and criticism, his transformation remains one of the most unusual and surprising sudden shifts YouTube has ever seen. Joshua Saunders, better known online as King Cobra JFS, was born on March 26, 1991, in Casper, Wyoming. His early life was difficult, as he was born with underdeveloped lungs and spent time in an incubator shortly after birth. His parents were young and eventually divorced while he was still a child. As he grew older, Joshua developed a deep love for heavy metal music, gothic culture, and snakes, interests that would later inspire his online name. Joshua first began posting videos to YouTube in 2010. At first, his content was fairly simple. He uploaded guitar videos, talked about music he enjoyed, and shared his personal opinions about life. Over time, his content evolved into something far more chaotic and unpredictable. His videos often included strange cooking experiments, alcohol drink combos, wand-making crafts, and long live streams where he would rant about relationships, trolls, and internet drama. What made Joshua stand out was how unfiltered his content felt. Unlike many YouTubers who carefully scripted their videos, Joshua would simply turn on a camera and speak freely. Viewers could watch hours of live streams where almost anything might happen. This unpredictable style attracted a growing audience that found his authenticity strangely compelling. Joshua was also open about his personal struggles, including living with Asperger's syndrome and dealing with alcoholism. His live streams frequently showed him drinking heavily, something that viewers sometimes encouraged as a joke. Unlike many of the creators we talked about in this video, Joshua didn't have many major controversies attached to his name. In fact, many people who watched his videos felt sympathy for him because of the struggles he openly showed on camera. His heavy drinking became a regular part of his streams, and because of his autism, it often made him an easy target for trolls. However, his story came to a tragic end when King Cobra passed away in August 2025 at the age of 34. His long-term health struggles, combined with years of heavy drinking, were reported to have contributed to his death, marking a sad end to his complicated life.